Welcome to Good Night Book with Erica and Nate.
It's possible I may get yelled at any time. And then she'll be real sad that she didn't get to participate in this discussion. Wait, you're talking about what now?
Maybe we should do that for everybody. That's a way to get listeners.
The FOMO?
It's just to like record it nearby everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone that we can. And then they'll be like, whoa, what are they doing? What are they
doing? I got to go look that up. I'm going to Google
at those
whatever.
Microphones. Holy cow.
Yeah. Do people do that in public? I suppose you see people with like the lav out in public occasionally. The lav. Yeah.
The lav. I love laughs.
Live, laugh, and love.
Yeah, indeed.
That's a podcaster version.
That is a podcaster version. Well, I can't think of a better segue to get us into the book that we're discussing this week, Eat, Pray, Love. Now, technically, it's not a children's book. Okay. But no, really what we're talking about today is the Beatrix Potter book, The Tale of Peter Rabbit. And that's Tale, just so everybody knows it's not about his puffy little tail.
That's good clarification.
It probably enters into it, but that's not all it's about. Should we just go into synopses here?
Yeah, may I? May I kick us off?
Please, Eric.
I actually, in my synopses, repeated that word. It is a tale of a family of bunnies, and when they go out to play, the naughty brother Peter has near-death adventures in a nearby garden and gets a cold from a watering can.
That's a good synopsis.
Yeah, thank you. And yours?
Mine is maybe less descriptive, but a bunny lives down to expectations and ends up naked with a tummy ache, all for a radish, a bean, and some lettuce.
Also descriptive, paints a picture. Like I'm right there.
Yeah, that's what struck me the most, I guess, was this is a pretty dark book. I should preface this by saying I don't think I ever read this when I was a kid. I think maybe I saw different iterations of it in like cartoon form or like board book form. And actually, my major exposure has been from this board book version that I read to Wesley, and I hate it. So I came in with some prejudices, and I guess I liked the real one better. But it is dark, huh? Yeah.
So I'm curious, was it a surprise having read the full version? Because the board book isn't as dark? I don't know the board book.
The board book is not dark at all. It leaves out like
there's
all
no mention
details.
Of the dad.
Yeah, there's no mention of the dad. No.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
There's also no mention of him feeling sick at all. So it looks like he got punished pretty bad. It looks like he got sent to bed without supper. In fact, I think that's what it says. And so that always seemed kind of harsh, like
overkill. I mean, yeah. So did you not see like half the pictures then too? Because there's like, some very visceral imagery, not in a horror way, but like the boot that's almost landing on him. Olive really has a hard time with that one.
Oh, really? Yeah, no, there's some of those.
Tried to put his foot upon Peter, where he's got not just a boot, but like a spiky boot that's trying to like, that's the farmer's approach. I mean, you kind of get it. If you know any farmers, you know this is the way they behave. They're very protective of what they grow. So they will take lives.
Yeah, and actually, Yosemite Sam was the same way. So it's like all
true.
walks of life. He hates that
true.
rabbit.
Yeah, because it was decimating his livelihood.
Yeah, exactly. It's the same. The board book is less dark and less specific in general, so it's just kind of it's way shorter. Leaves out a lot of details. But the dad fact was very surprising. Also, I wonder if you were a kid, would you get that he got killed?
Or just like lived in a pie and couldn't come home.
They like I feel like Wes would hear that and be like, that sounds kind of nice. Like, that
Well,
sounds delicious. I would love to be in a pie.
I would love to live in a pie. Yeah. Is this happen? Oh, right. So this happens on my book. The way it's formatted, it's like an 8.5 by 11 large, like collection of Beatrix Potter. Okay.
I
Yeah.
have
So
these
mine's
tiny
bigger.
individual
So
books.
yours are probably split
you
up.
don't have to say it like that, Erica. It's not a competition. Yours is bigger, yes.
Well, all that to say that it happens on the first page where there's an image of Mrs. McGregor with a pie, and adjacent to her is the text, "Your father had an accident there," mentioning the McGregor's farm, and he was put in a pie by Mrs. McGregor, and she's holding a pie, and Mr. McGregor's hands are in the image. He's very excited to eat this rabbit pie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't have those. I don't have those pictures.
It's funny because that didn't, I think you're right though. I don't think it occurs to children because I love this book. I love a lot of Beatrix Potter, but this one is her most famous because it's got this like crazy plot to it and rhythm, because her language is so beautiful to read. It just like, I just feel like I'm licking a lollipop when I read this stuff. It's like juicy, and there's great funny little onomatopoeias in it, and it's just kind of delicate. So there's this weird juxtaposition that you're now kind of drawing my attention to, where he's like constantly running for his life. He's terrified in the garden. He doesn't listen to his mom, nor did he really process. Maybe he didn't get it. Maybe he didn't understand what his mom meant. Like, dad just lives in a pie now, and he can't come home.
Maybe he didn't get along with his dad. We don't know. Maybe it was a bad environment before.
Yeah. Did you like parts of the book?
Did I like parts of the book? I guess.
Do you like the book? What's your overall?
So I didn't read it out loud. I think that might be a problem. I have not read or heard the actual version out loud.
Yeah.
And the other one it has taken all the love out of it. It has taken it. So my comment is, boy, they don't split words up very often anymore with a hyphen, into the next line.
Yeah.
But this book did that a lot.
Oh.
Did it in your version or not? I guess there's probably just a lot of versions of this, huh?
Yeah.
This one says the original Peter Rabbit books. Mine says.
Sure.
So I think mine is smaller, but mine seems to be much, much more original.
Well, that's true. It's old school because, this one was definitely, it's repackaged, and I can almost imagine. I've seen that version, and it wasn't like they were making big books back in 1902 when this thing came out. 1902. This is a 120-year-old story. Yeah. And so I do feel like people just generally talked like this back then, which is also kind of reminds me of my grandma. My grandma used to read me this book, and I think it just fit right in with her like use of like delicate and precise language. Like, I'm going to read. Then old Mrs. Rabbit took a basket and her umbrella and went through the wood to the baker's. She bought a loaf of brown bread and 5 currant buns. Like, bring me to the baker's with you. That sounds like a nice trip.
The way you read that just didn't sound like you could have been doing a voiceover for British Bake Off.
Yeah. I was.
Correct
I
buns.
didn't.
You did it great. You should. I'm glad we should have recorded this so you could use it as your audition.
Yeah.
And it's funny, since you said that, my grandma used to speak with a lot of hyphens, splitting up her words.
Really?
Yeah.
How? Give me an example.
So she would like be moving her head left to right as she spoke, and then she'd be like, well, we're going to the shop later. She would whip her head back to the front of the line. No, she didn't really do that. She had other neurological issues, so I don't want to make fun of her.
And you're diverse. Hey, I don't have a lot of hyphens, just saying.
Okay.
Keep going.
This is the one. This one is signed by Beatrix Potter, so I think this one is.
Yours is the OG. Yeah.
It just says Trixie.
Wow. Whoever got that book must have really known her.
Do you think Trixie is a nickname for Beatrix?
Yes.
I knew a cat named Trixie. What is your favorite pet name of all time of your pets? Or at least pets that have been very close to you?
Well, I've got two. I'll try to do them quickly.
Sure.
One
No, you can take your
was just chew on it. Let's chew it up.
time.
One was Noodle. She was a cat turned into a mean cat, but when we got her as a kitten, I have this memory, which my parents patently deny, that we were laying on the floor and my dad was like, "What do you want to name your cat?" And I was distracted by my mom cooking dinner and I smelled something and I said, "Oh, Noodles." And my dad said, "Do you want to name her Noodle?" And I said, "No, mom's making noodles." And he was like, "Nope, that's the name now." That's how I remember that. And then we had a dog named Muppet for obvious reasons. She really looked like a Muppet. The little
Muppet, right?
Yeah, you would know Muppet. Mm-hmm.
So mine is, I only have one. I'm going to do it really fast though. It's Buddy, even though that wasn't actually his name.
Right.
His name was Gianni Tiello Versace, I think.
Yeah, that sounds right.
And he was a fat cat and he died. He was my last cat, maybe ever, hopefully ever. But he was a big, like Buddy was just a good fitting name. And actually, I regret to report I have definitely begun calling my son Buddy. He has a very similar energy to that cat.
I mean, it's okay when it's your kid and they're not, and you guys aren't super macho. It gets weird. That nickname gets weird with men when it's like,
"Hey, buddy."
Yeah. Fake nice, fake chummy.
"Hey, buddy." Like that.
No, he's adorable. He can be a buddy.
"Hey, bud." That's how I say it. I just spent a long time talking to a very affable cat like that, and he's a very affable boy.
Yes.
So
that's good. So it's not just the name, it's like what the name signifies to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Other than that, my favorite, not for more emotional reasons, my favorite pet name was Alex P. Kitten, was my old cat's name.
What?
Yeah,
seriously?
Yeah.
That's great.
From Family Ties. And it was my mom told us that he came with that name, but we found out many years later that she named him that.
Speaking of names, I can't, like, some of these people, I can't believe they have these names. They're like perfect children's book names. Or is it that now that we know their names so well, Beatrix Potter, she just was meant to write children's books. Did you know the story of her and how she got this going? So I don't think she ever married. She was born in 1866. And she was like a proper lady, Victorian era.
She must be super old by now.
Yeah. She's going to be making a guest appearance. That was going to be the big surprise.
Oh, yeah. You kind of blew it now.
She, had tutors and was very isolated from the world and ended up just like having a large affection for animals and like kept a lot of animals, like wildlife. Rabbits were, of course, one of them. And then she started sketching them. And then when she was like, I don't know, in her 20s, she started, I think everybody did write a lot of letters back then, but she would write these little stories to kids that she knew, like her nanny's children, and started to draw pictures, and they got picked up by a publisher. So all these were letters. A lot of them like originated in letters. Was one of these little
kids a publisher?
Grew up to be a publisher.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how to connect the dots, but I just, there's so much about this lady, her name, her behavior that reminds me of my grandparents, like just writing lots of letters, delicate use of language.
Did you ever write letters much?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wrote to my cousin a lot and I still kept some of them. And then in my romantic periods, I had some letters from boys. What about you? Did you write letters to ladies that you liked?
Sure, yeah. I was very non-confrontational, so it was way easier to do that. I mean, Viv and I basically courted over email, so.
Oh, yeah. That counts. That is the modern day version.
Yeah, I've written a lot of emails to people. But, not really letters. I like the idea of it. I feel like I never really had a pen pal. But...
Weren't we forced to have pen pals?
Yeah, I do feel like that. I do feel like
in school.
I feel like that none of them ever wrote me back.
Right. It
probably
was
forgot
the
to
one
sign
and
them.
done.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Way to bring it back.
Thanks.
Well, do you remember the chain letters? Did you ever get into that?
I didn't do it. It seemed like, but yes, I do remember them. But it was I don't like that. Sounds like I don't know. It's like burdening other people with this thing.
Yes. And then there started to be this thing where you would be like, well, you're cursed if you don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so make sure
I
that
have to say,
you
since
protect
I
your
didn't
family.
do it, things haven't gone all that well. Like they could have gone better. So who
It's
knows?
the chain letter theory instead of the butterfly effect.
Well, that's what that Fleetwood Mac song is about, and I didn't heed its warning. They told me I must never break
it was
the
like
chain.
right there
Explicit,
in the
yeah.
song. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. What about? I wanted to talk about gender roles in this. Like, is this sexist or am I? Are the other kids all girls?
Yeah. Flopsy, Mopsy, Cottontail.
I haven't.
Well, I always wonder about Cottontail.
Yeah.
That's kind of a gender neutral name, but I'm pretty sure they're wearing pink frocks. Yeah, they're all wearing pink frocks, and he's wearing a blue one.
So, like, he's the naughty one.
Yeah.
And they're the good ones.
Well, there was a lot of pressure on the girls, to learn the ways of taking care of their household at that age.
See, I thought this was a new story, so I was viewing it from more of that perspective. Yeah,
sure.
I thought it was like 2015 or something. It's just that the art is so timeless. The board book, definitely I'm comparing the pictures and they are not the same.
Oh, no kidding.
It's like somebody did a cover of the drawings kind of. But I wonder if the ones that I have are the same as what you have. So let me show you the book that I have. The
OG
book.
one. Yeah. Yeah. Those are hers. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. But then.
Oh, it says based on the original tale by Beatrix Potter.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, man.
Well, yeah.
They might as well have taken screenshots from that dumbass movie.
Well, and here's what they did. Let me talk about this board book for a second. This is a pretty big problem to me. I hid this book for quite a while because it made me so angry. The artlessness of it was apparent. And then there's this one... There's a frame with the little mouse that's carrying the beans or whatever, right?
Yeah. She can't talk because she's got beans in her mouth. Yeah.
Yeah, and it happened. And then in the next one where he sees the cat that he avoids, the white cat.
Yep.
Well, on that page, Peter isn't in it, and instead that mouse is in it. It's like they were copy and pasting images.
You mean behind the cat is the mouse?
Kind of next to the cat.
Oh.
And it's like, that's even a worse idea, first of all, than a bunny, because a bunny is way faster.
Yeah.
But Peter does not make an appearance on this page, and it really
Let me see.
Makes me mad.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, that's a total not right. And that's really
I tried
weird.
to talk to Wes about it, but she didn't. I don't know. She thought he was hiding, maybe, which is not a
No,
bad
he's
theory.
not hiding. Oh, I know.
Are you calling Wes stupid?
Stop. I'm critiquing your daughter's attempt at making it right. I like that about her. She's trying to find the way through.
I guess she's on Trixie's side.
Okay, one last comment about this language. Two comments. She starts a lot of sentences with presently. Mm-hmm. Presently, Peter
sneezed. Curdy chew.
Curdy chew.
What do you think about that sound effect as a sneeze?
I love it. Because I remember, this is where I remember my grandma talking about it. And I changed it to kerchie chew. Like kerchief.
Kerchie chew.
Kerchie chew. Mm-hmm. What about you? What do you think about that?
I like it. I like it because it's so off that it's fun to say.
No.
You know what I mean? Like sometimes it's like if they write it in such a way that I'm really supposed to do it, I feel like, and I don't like to.
Or singing a song like we talked about a couple times ago. Yeah. The other language piece that I love reading is after a time he began to wander about, going lippity, lippity, not very fast, and looking all around. Lippity, lippity. Yes, that's exactly what he did.
Yeah,
That's how all bunnies go now.
I should have read this aloud to a kid or something instead of just reading it in my car.
Scream reading it to yourself.
No, I was just screaming. I was just screaming while I was reading it silently in my head.
That's multitasking, and no one's up for that these days.
Look, these screams aren't going to scream themselves, okay, Erica? It's not going to happen.
I got to get it all done, and I got 4 hours to do it.
So speaking of naughty little bunnies, did you ever shoplift as a kid? Did you ever steal any radishes?
I never went through anybody else's garden. That is so taboo. But I did take some CDs. No, I don't think I ever did. I think I'm just wishing I had that story, but I did not. No, I was good. That freaked me out. How about you?
Yeah, when I was a kid, I don't think I did. I don't remember really. I think I was like, when I got into like older years, I would steal. Like I think the statute of limitations is up on this. When I worked at Tyrol Basin, I would definitely eat a lot of food that I was not supposed to eat.
Yes.
You know.
Did we work there together? Because I worked there too. That's
right. I don't know. I feel like we could have. Where did you work? Were you in the concessions?
Worked in the kitchen.
Oh, that's crazy. Well, I think you were the year after I left.
We must not have overlapped. We would have.
Were you there with Sam?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, Sam and I overlapped, and then I think you came in after me.
And then
I wonder if she even noticed, because back then we had the same haircut.
We looked a lot alike.
Yeah. And I didn't have the beard, and you did.
Interchangeable. That's where I met one of my boyfriends. Was in that kitchen in high school. I had a really good year that year. Really good boyfriends. So that I feel like you would have.
You broke away to Tyrol Basin.
Yeah. Why? Oh, food. Yeah, for sure. Yes, food. What would you eat there? What's your favorite Tyrol Basin food?
The mozzarella sticks were good. We would also make some sort of, I don't know, there was some sort of burger type thing. This was when I still ate meat. Mm-hmm. And so there's some sort of burger thing that I remember being good, but I don't remember. I feel like we did something to it to make it good, but I don't recall what it was. It was like, we had a name for it and everything, but this was 100 years ago. It was, so I have no idea. Oh, it's probably the Reagan burger, probably we called it.
Yeah, because it was 100 years ago.
I was trying to be topical. Yeah, 100 years ago, that was Reagan era.
Nixon sticks?
Nixon sticks, that's great. Well, I think that's really all we have to say about Peter Rabbit for today. The tale of Peter Rabbit for today. If you enjoy the show, please rate and review it and tell somebody you like about us. And if you don't like it, then tell somebody you hate. For a transcript of this episode or any episode, please send a self-addressed stamped envelope to the address on your screen, and we will send you a blank post-it note in the mail. Until next time, good night, Mush. Good night, creepy old lady. And good night, book.
The end.